Grind don't stop. 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 Grind don't stop.
Hello, welcome back to Chew Gum. It is, oh my gosh, I still hear the music. You hear the music? Yeah, I hear the music. Okay, I was making sure that I wasn't imagining that. Hi, we have Skeptic Heretic on the line today. I'm so excited. How's it going?
I'm excited to be here, even though I'm a hot mess, but that's okay. We got there eventually.
Listen, we got there. You know, tech stuff likes to keep us on our toes. I was just saying to Morgan while you're figuring out your stuff, not that long ago, my computer battery was just like not charging if I was using the computer at all. And then now it started working. And he's like, maybe you should have a plan B just in case. And I'm like, you're right. No, you're right. I should. And also, I'm just sort of like, I don't know. It seems fine. So we'll just see. I don't know.
Yeah, good.
But today is June 17th, and this is Chew Gum, and we talk about all kinds of purity culture things and religion things and sometimes politics things, but mostly lady things, I guess. I don't know. I really should have I've been doing this show for over a year now. I should have a more succinct way to say what the show is. That is horrible.
Well, I feel like you talk about a lot of things, so it's kind of hard because it's so broad, so.
Yeah, I know. It's and it's not really supposed to be that broad, but it kind of is. We're all over the map with what we're talking about here. So, and that's the way I like it. How are you doing? What's new?
I'm doing good. Trying to think if anything's new. I went to a protest in my city, and it went pretty well. It was very hopeful to see a ton of people in my small city go, so that was really nice. And they want to make it a regular thing to protest every Saturday for an hour or two, so I think I'm going to try and do that and make it a scheduled thing. So yeah, I'm excited. That's one thing I'm excited about.
Yeah, I went to one up by my my hometown also, and it was cool because I live in a suburb of New York, and I was not really expecting it to be much. I was this is going to be, in my head, I was maybe I should have gone to the city. They're going to have lots of numbers there. So I was maybe, I don't know, I'll just go up here. There were 200 people on the street. And this is a very small, yeah, I was so impressed. And it does feel really uplifting to be okay. Because it's weird to go through our day-to-day life pretending every time I open my phone, I don't see the most horrific thing I've ever seen.
Right. And that can be so demoralizing for long amounts of time. So when you go and protest, you're actually around people who have a lot of the same priorities as you, and it's really nice and uplifting. I feel it gives you new motivation. At least it does for me.
100%. And it also makes it feel okay, this is actually, it would have been worth showing up to those protests anyway, but it felt extra worth it because there were so many people, and to be okay, we showed up in numbers, and that feels good. It feels okay, we're trying to take something back over here. I did see a clip of Trump talking about World War III, and he was just kind of I don't know, World War III feels not the vibe. I think we have enough going on over here. Not
It's
the
like,
vibe.
yeah, it's never the vibe, but
if we're going base vibes alone, then I think we have some cleaning up to do on the vibes.
Yeah, a lot is seems like a lot of stuff is going down right now. It's pretty scary, but what can you do?
It was crazy. And he said in that little clip, he said hard pass.
What?
Hard.
I need to after this I need to go see that clip because not
Please do. Please do. It's psycho. I'm like, that's hard pass. Hard pass on World War III is insane. Not the vibe.
That describes where we are right now, politically. So
truly, I was like this, and it just gets more and more mortifying every freaking day. Anyway, if you would like to call in, we do have some lines open, but we actually do have callers that are waiting, which is exciting. We have some lines that are open. You could call 720-619-2288, or you can use the web link that's in the description. And super chats of $5 or more will be read at the end of the show. And I think we should take our first call, perhaps.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, we do have a theist in the queue, and we like to prioritize the theists, so maybe we'll bring him in first. We have Flamingo calling from New York, actually. Hello, Flamingo.
Hello.
How's it going?
Yeah, so what I was calling about is basically, is it okay to give women suggestions on their appearance? Like, for example, sometimes throughout my life, I've told certain women, like, well, you should maybe curl your hair to enhance your appearance, or like wear some mascara or something. To me, I saw it as constructive criticism, but I mean, as I get older and reflect on it, I'm not sure if I should do that.
I say no. I think that your instinct as you're getting older is leading you in the right way, because it's, regardless of what your intention is, it's unsolicited feedback. Like, you're giving people like they didn't ask for your opinion, and so you're just giving your opinion, like your opinion matters more than their preferences. And I think it's just always going to lead to probably not that nice of a conversation.
I was confused because like sometimes they don't really care. Sometimes they smile or something. They don't really care sometimes. So I wasn't sure.
I would say one thing you could do, like if you really like when somebody does something specific, like let's say they do curl their hair one day, you could just like emphasize how much you think that's pretty or whatever. And I feel like that's a great way to like just let them know like what you appreciate when they do it, whether it's like makeup or hair or whatever. I feel like that's a nice way to do it instead of like, I guess, like suggesting it to them.
I think
that's a great workaround, because I mean, you still get to like, say something that you are liking about a person, and who doesn't like to hear that their hair looks nice or whatever. But I think anytime anyone is giving criticism or feedback or whatever, even if it is constructive, it's kind of like, why should your opinion matter so much to them that if they didn't even ask for it, you're just gonna give it to them? You know what I mean? So I think it's just not worth sharing, because it's like not really other people's business what you like on them, like they get to just decide whatever they would like. So I think your instinct that you're having now as you're getting older is the right thing.
Yeah. I was just confused because like no one ever responded to me about it. No one like got mad or anything. So
they might be uncomfortable. Honestly, they might just be sort of like not sure what to say and feel uncomfortable with a suggestion that they didn't ask for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about, or was that mainly the question?
Yeah, that was mainly the question.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling in. We appreciate you sharing this moment with us, and we hope you have a good day.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
That was so fast.
Yeah, it was really fast.
Okay. That was like maybe the fastest call I've ever had on this show. That was 1 minute and 30 seconds. He's
That's really funny.
nothing if not efficient. Oh my goodness. Okay, thank you, Flamingo. Definitely don't give people unsolicited feedback.
I was just thinking if my husband randomly said that to me, like, you should put on mascara or something, I'd be like, what? I would probably be a little off-put, I think. Just because, like, I feel like that's kind of... Yeah, I would feel like... I don't know. I don't know why I would feel that way, but it was just... Yeah, I guess it's like, you need to... I guess in my head it would be kind of like, you need to look better, and that doesn't sound very good.
Yeah, that's a good point. It is sort of like you need to be presenting yourself better than this. It's sort of like, I think I could just wear whatever I want. And also, I think part of it is like, the biggest part to me is like, who the hell are you that I that I need to care about what you think would look best on me? That's sort of like
Right.
my gut instinct to all of it, as I'm just like if you tell me like you should put mascara on, I'd be like, well, you should shut up, actually. That's crazy.
And again, I feel like if it's someone like you're in a relationship with, you could easily just really gas them up when they look good. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's like effective.
That's the way.
Yeah.
Like the real actual healthy way, like if I put my like relationship coaching hat on, is it's like, yeah, compliment, positive encouragement, like that kind of stuff goes miles. I even recommend that to people when they're trying to like redirect what people are doing sexually. It's like, give them compliments on the things that they really like. Yeah. Phrase it like, I really love when you do this, this, and this. But like my regular person side of me is like, if my boyfriend was like, you should put on mascara today, I'd be like, well, you need to shave your ass. How about that? How about that? Like, maybe you should stop eating dairy because you spent 20 minutes in the bathroom. How about that? Anyway, there's no way. I would be all fight, no flight. It would be bad.
That's so funny.
Oh, as a reminder, go to patreon.com/calltheline and you can support this show, but you support the entire channel and all of the other wonderful shows that we get to do together. I know some people were saying they liked my sweatshirt. This is our Don't Apologize to Him sweatshirt. This is also the line merch. And there was someone on TikTok who has the Don't Apologize to Him sweatshirt. I think she has it in like red or something. She wore it to the mall, and someone in the mall went up to her. A guy went up to her in the mall and was like, I don't like that shirt. And she was like,
I'd be like, good.
Okay.
I'm going to wear it again.
Exactly. Exactly, and that's why I bought it. And he was like, I think it's just like offensive. Like, why you're saying you just don't need to apologize to anyone? And she was like, well, if I didn't do anything wrong, then like, no, I don't need to apologize. And he was like, well, I think it's offensive. And she was like, okay, well, I literally don't care what you think. And it was like such a good interaction. I was watching it on TikTok and I was like, this is amazing. It was so great.
That's
I loved
really
it.
Funny.
So get your Don't Apologize to Him sweatshirt and start fights in the mall. You know, that's my selling point for us there. And let's see, I'm getting let's see if we get it. Okay. Call out. Sorry, I'm not good at answering in our Discord and talking at the same time. Okay. So Patreon. What else? Oh, our shows. Let's talk about what shows we have coming up this week. I can't believe we did our first call so quickly. That was crazy.
Quick and easy. That's fine with me.
Quick and easy. Okay, so today is the 17th. Okay, so tomorrow we have the hang up with Jimmy and myself. So if after this whole rigmarole you would like to watch me again with Jimmy, then you can do that tomorrow. Lucky you and all of us. On Thursday, we have TACIS with Josie and Luxander. And then I think our next show is the Sunday show with Eric and Owen. And then we loop to Skeptalk with Aaron and Susan Gerber. I don't know who that is yet. Okay. And then, next Chewed Gum, I believe we have Erica Gibbon, which is cool because we have had Erica on like a long time ago. So that'll be fun. We'll have her back on too. But if you are someone who has been wanting to call in, you have thoughts about women, you have thoughts about religion, you're a theist, you're a misogynist, you're a patriarchy, like, fan. I don't know. Are people fans of patriarchy? Trump supporters. You think that capitalism is so cool. I don't know. Give us a call. I had coffee late in the day today, so I have energy for it today. And we have lines that are open. So you can call us at 720-619-2288. You can also use the web link that's in the description. As usual, I had people in my Instagram DMs saying that they were going to call in. They asked me to send the link to them. Where are they?
I know. I also posted something on my story on TikTok because everyone always wants to like come on my live when I go live on TikTok. So I was like, come call, please.
Come. This is the perfect place. Yeah. And also, like, I had this conversation with someone in my DMs when we were going. I was posting a lot about like the ICE situation and whatever. And he was responding to me. And after a while, I was like, I can tell that like the media you're consuming is not the media that I would consume, I'll say. And It just felt very like you're in like a Fox News like tornado of shit. And like we're gonna disagree on facts is what's happening here.
Right.
And I don't have all day to like sit in my DMs and give you like sources, like I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But if you want to call in, I specifically set aside time to do that here, but I'm not going to like break up my whole day to do that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I do not blame you.
Yeah, can't do it. Won't do it. Okay, so we do have some calls. Actually, we have a call from someone who called last week and we ran out of time, so I wasn't able to chat with them. Someone named Toby. So I'm going to bring them in on the line. Toby, are you there?
I am here. Hello.
Hello, my friend. How's it going? Thanks for calling back.
Yeah, no problem.
So what did you want to talk about today?
Yeah, I wanted to follow up on the conversation from a couple weeks ago that you had about sorry, my dog is going crazy. Lyra.
That's okay. I actually don't hear them at all, and I also have many dogs who are always going crazy, so I understand.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about the call from a couple weeks ago about the male loneliness epidemic. I did really appreciate the discussion, but I wanted to add a bit of personal experience to it because I generally feel like even on here, it came across in a way that could be interpreted like it's all 20-year-old guys living in their parents' basement who just need to touch grass, or men who are super into Andrew Tate and Joe Rogan and have no respect for women. And I guess first off, I just want to say that I'm really afraid that right now I sound like I'm saying not all men. And I totally get the problem with that. But I think I'm someone who internalized that to the point where I have a really hard time speaking up, even when I probably should. And I've been working on changing that. Because I am someone who that kind of silence has really cost me. It's kept me isolated, and it's made me feel like there's no place for guys like me, like quiet, progressive, emotionally sincere kind of guys to talk about what we're going through without being lumped in with the incels and other men who've turned their loneliness into resentment. So, yeah, I'm really trying to push past that because, I am someone who has social anxiety and all that sort of thing. But yeah, so I just wanted to speak up because I know there's a difference between seeking the spotlight and just trying to be seen.
Totally. And I'm glad that you are bringing this into the conversation because it's important. And I've been seeing a lot recently. I've been seeing a lot of people. I don't know if it must have been like, maybe it was a suicide awareness day, but there was like a couple of posts I saw over the weekend that were about the amount of men who are depressed and committing suicide and all these like terrible things. And obviously, you know, at the end of the day, like at the bottom line is I want people to be healthy and happy and not feel lonely and be able to have community and whatever. I think where the frustration comes in and where the where it ends up feeling like not, I don't know, where it gets to be challenging for women specifically is it feels like many times in the conversation, and obviously not with everyone, but many times in the conversation, it feels like the burden of the responsibility is being placed on women. It's like women don't want to date men anymore. Their standards are too high, and now all the men are lonely. When I think in reality, and I feel like Toby, you understand this more, it sounds like. There's a much like larger problem at play where it's like men are not great at finding community within each other. Like it's not as common that men are going to like go grab a coffee with a friend after work for like an hour, like where my mom literally did that this afternoon. And that's, that's a part of like what her socializing is. Like she's a really social person. By contrast, my dad is very much like, I'll see my friends when I see them, and I will text them on their birthday. One time I overheard a conversation he had with his friend of like 20 years in the car. And I was like, this was essentially a business call. I was like, you could have done this via email, no problem. It's like, not the closeness isn't there. The vulnerability isn't there. And I think that's what would be really wonderful to see men really get in touch with is like this softer side of themselves that will allow them to create better like interpersonal skills and have deeper relationships with other people. I, as a woman, don't know how I'm supposed to encourage that and why it would be our responsibility to encourage that. Like many times when we have this conversation, I feel like I want to tell the men around me, I'm like, join a club, get on a rec sport league. There are lots of ways to find community, and it seems like it just doesn't come as naturally to men as it does to women because we sort of like have community building as part of the female experience in some way. I don't know.
And that's kind of what I wanted to respond to is, honestly, I've been in therapy for quite a while, and one thing I've figured out just recently is that I'm the kind of guy who kind of prefers the female friendship style. I want to be more emotional depth and openness and real connection and like, that sort of thing. But I also carry this deep-seated fear of coming across as a creep when I talk to women, and that's the biggest thing I've been trying to work on for the past 25 years, but it just never seems to get easier for me. But at the same time, I am someone who...
Do people tell you that you're being creepy?
No, they don't. And I know that I'm probably not, and it's something I should get over, but I don't know how. I'm still just way too quiet. And like, I am in a bunch of groups, but in all those groups, I'm the quiet guy, and like people make jokes about it. Like, oh, Toby, you should you talk too much. You should shut up, and like, that's a totally different issue, but
I'll tell you, I have this conversation with coaching clients every single week, with men, coaching clients that are men every single week. And one of the things that I've had them do, that basically my whole thought process is there are circumstances in this situation that are very much in your control. Like you can within reason control how social you are, how much you put yourself out there. You have the ability. It's scary and it's like a fearful situation and it's challenging for you, but you can make a choice to speak up more. So when you're choosing not to do that, like you are the person that stands in your way more than anyone else, which is silly because you have the opportunity to be larger than your circumstance. Like you have the opportunity to push beyond that if you want to. And so one of the things I've had coaching clients do, for some reason in the past like couple of weeks, this has been the thing that I've been telling them to do, is every single day I have asked them to talk to a new person, whether it's at the coffee shop or like walking down the street or the grocery store or whatever. One person every single day. Have as much as you can of a conversation with someone, because I think part of what is happening, at least for my clients, is there's a fear of rejection. Like you said it yourself, like I don't want people to think I'm weird. So what if they do? If they think you're weird, or if they think you're a creep, you're not weird, you're not a creep. And the truth of that will always stand up taller than your fear of that being what their perception is of you, because it's not the truth. So really you're putting yourself in a situation where it's like lose-lose. You're not putting yourself out there, so you're not getting the output that you want. But if you put yourself out there, you have a 50-50 shot of getting what you want in this. So it's important that you find a way to push past the fear that you're experiencing, like the fear of rejection, if that's what it is. And I would recommend, if you can, find someone who can be an accountability buddy for you. So like for me and my clients, I have had clients where I text them literally every day and I say, who did you talk to today? And that accountability, it sounds silly, but it goes miles, because when I've tried to do it without the accountability of me checking in every day, literally doesn't happen. But if you can tell like a friend, a sibling, whoever, a coworker, and just be like, hey, I just need you to check in with me at the end of the day to make sure that I do this like weird little task. You'll be surprised at when you commit to something, you have someone holding you accountable, what you're capable of doing, because you are capable of doing it. I mean, Toby, do you know how many people, when they call this line, are like shaking in their boots because they're so nervous to do it, and you're doing it? Like, this is something people are very nervous and scared to do, and you are. So like, you are capable. It's just pushing past the like fear of being perceived.
And first off, thank you. There is some of that I definitely need to try to incorporate, like trying to talk to someone every day. That's a really good idea that I should do. But I also have done stuff like when I got out of high school, way back in the 90s, in high school, there were people that literally thought I was mute because I was so quiet. So after high school, I joined the Marines. I spent 5 years in the Marines to try to get me out of my shell and be louder. And that part of it worked. I can be louder. But it didn't really teach me how to take up space properly. And I've also done stuff like working at my local Renaissance Festival. I actually started out in a stage show at the Renaissance Festival.
Love it.
And that was terrifying at the time. That slowly transitioned into a improv street performance, which was even more terrifying. So I've done quite a bit to push myself, and I don't know. I just feel like it feels like there's something in my head that's just missing that is supposed to tell me what to say, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think socializing in this way is a muscle that you have to build. And doing something like the Marines is an interesting thing, because when you're doing something like, also, thank you for your service. When you're doing something like that, you are still like, you're you are, I guess, kind of taking up space, but in a very structured, rigid way where like in that environment, if you stepped out of line or like you did something outside of the realm of what they were requesting you to do, that I'm sure was not taken too kindly. So in some ways, I kind of feel like that experience could have done kind of the opposite. But you've done things like the Ren Fair performances, doing that on the street, like that is so much harder than being in these like clubs or these groups where you're being perceived as like the quiet guy. You've already done something so much harder than that. So I really feel like this is not to like, I think it oversimplifies it to say it's mind over matter, but I think that you have an opportunity to really push past it. And the conversation that I have with my clients all the time is at no point, if this doesn't come naturally to you right now, at no point will building that muscle not feel like jumping off a cliff every time. It's like every time you're gonna have a moment that's gonna be like cortisol running, like I'm really stressed. This is a lot. But you can do some deep breaths. You can ground yourself in whatever way that works best for you and just jump off the cliff. Because truly, the worst case scenario is someone doesn't like you. And at the rate you're going now, you aren't putting yourself out there enough for them to have any opinion of you. So at least give yourself the chance. Like, don't sell yourself short. Give yourself the chance to have them perceive you. Like that's it's a big part of life and like being a human being is some people are going to like you and some people are not, and that's okay. But you'll get so much closer to finding your people and finding your community once you start to let some people in and let some people get to know you in some way. Because like, you know, if you're in these groups and you're going into them telling yourself, I'm Toby who is quiet, I kind of fade into the background, I'm a wallflower, I'm okay with that. That's the result you're going to create every single time. Like this conversation in your head is the one that you are creating every single time. But if you change the conversation in your head to, I'm Toby, I'm a really nice guy, and people would actually be really lucky to get to have me as a friend, and I'm going to put myself out there even a tiny bit today. That's the conversation, that's the reality that you get to create, and then see what happens. And if they decide they don't, you know, for lack of a better phrasing, if they don't fuck with you, that's okay. You'll find somebody who will, and it will feel uncomfy every time until you build the muscle, but it's worth building the muscle.
Yeah. Well, I will keep working on it.
Try the thing where you say hi to somebody new or have a small conversation with someone new every day. Try that, and I strongly encourage you to have an accountability buddy to do it. Because for people like my Tobys of the world and like the other clients that I have that are Tobys, you guys are the sweetest, most loveliest people, and the world just needs to have some exposure to that, and they'll love you. But to get there, you might need a little bit of a push.
Yeah.
Accountability buddies. Accountability buddies, somebody said in the chat. Skeptic, do you have any thoughts? I just yapped so much.
I want to say that I relate in the way that, I mean, I'm married and I have friends, but I get very drained by interacting with people very easily, so it's very easy for me to become a hermit, and I've noticed the more I kind of give into it, the worse it gets, and the harder it gets to get back to the spot of, you know, feeling more comfortable. Like, the longer I put it off, the more, I don't know how to even say it, the more awkward I become because I feel like I don't even know what I'm doing. But you said that you are around, you said groups or friends where they say you're quiet. I would maybe just practice really putting myself out there with my friends. and maybe that'll help like build up confidence for other things, is like just practicing with people you've already talked to a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
You could also,
Can I just
it might, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
one other really quick thing that's just I find so odd is that whenever I talk with other people that are as quiet as I am, or shy, or whatever you want to call it, I feel like everybody else has at least been in one relationship, and I'm someone that I've been on first dates and never passed that. And that is just so disheartening. And honestly, I've reached a point where it just feels like the laws of the universe don't allow that for me when I try to like imagine it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I need to start working on those small steps, like the talking to someone every day and that sort of thing. I will work on that.
Toby, if it helps, this is the conversation that I have with multiple clients every single week. Like, you are very far from being alone in the way that you feel. And those little conversations are really helpful. It really is like building a muscle. And it also is kind of building a callus. Like, rejection is hard, even if it's like we say, rejection is redirection. Like, you don't really want to like spend time with people who don't want to spend time with you anyway. So like, whatever. But it's hard. It's a hard like human experience. But if you're going into these rooms anticipating that you're not going to get a second date, anticipating that you're going to be quiet in this room that's a group of people, that's what you're creating over and over again. And it's not in a woo-woo way. It's in a way where you're probably showing up in that way. Like, when you go into a room and you could tell that there's someone there who just does not want to be there, and they're not doing anything or saying anything to make you feel that way necessarily, but you could just tell, like, people, their body language gives off a weird, it's entirely possible that what you're bringing into the room is nervous, is feeling fear in that moment. And the crazy thing is, you have, by making this phone call and by doing all these other fun things that you've done things that are so much harder. Like, you've done things that are more challenging than these situations that you're describing. I genuinely think you're just psyching yourself out. And that's not to say that it's not challenging and that it's not something to actively work on and like really dig into. But I would encourage you to, because therapy is really helpful, but the difference between therapy and coaching is coaching allows for goal setting and like kind of homework in between and tasks and things to really like push you towards whatever that goal is. So I don't know, it might be worth looking into coaching in some way, whether it's like life coaching or like relationship coaching, which is what I do. Like, those types of resources are helpful. Like, there's a reason why they are different jobs. And it might be helpful to look into, because you seem like a person, like my other clients, who would benefit from, like, this is our goal for this week. You're going to say hi to someone new every day. And next week we're going to, whatever, maybe if there's somebody cute at a coffee shop, you and I are going to role play and we're going to figure out how we're going to ask this girl out. And if it doesn't work out, doesn't work out. But you created a new possibility for yourself that you literally would not have done 2 weeks before, which is amazing. So just changing the pattern of what you're doing to get a different result will be, I think, a really exciting exercise for you.
Yeah, I will look into that. That's also a good thought.
Yeah, for sure. And you can email me anytime, and I'll be happy to give you resources or support in whatever way I can.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll work on building the muscle too.
You got it. You have lots of support in the chat too. So if you ever look at the chat on YouTube, scroll through, because everyone's really being supportive and lovely, and I love our little community here.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you so much for calling, Toby, and we will talk to you soon.
Yep. It was a pleasure talking to you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Toby.
Okay. Okay, now our lines are basically full, which is awesome. So, are you ready to take another call?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We have another theist who called with the name Benevolent Misogyny. Misogyny spelled wrong. So, let's see how this is going to go. Hello.
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
How's it going?
Fantastic. It is a beautiful day.
Wonderful. Wonderful. You're in California, so I'm sure it is a beautiful day.
Yeah. California's a nice place.
It is. So what did you want to talk to us today? Talk to
Well, no,
us
I
about?
just heard a lot of prognosticating and, making pronouncements from women about what it is to be a man. And I always wondered if it was like the opposite way. Would women get it? Like, imagine if a man was sitting there and going, only real women take nuts to the face. Would you women like that?
Wait, do you feel like I would love to know what you're referring to when you say that, like, we talk about what a real
Well, no, I
man
just
is.
heard, maybe men would get better in touch with their, inner emotions. And I feel men should be showing that that's not what men do. Like, men show their friendship and their loyalty completely differently than women, and you're trying to make men into women. I've had friends since I was 4 years old, and I've never once sat there and like had these like intimate discussions. I've had guys call me back, "Hey, bro, what should I do with this?" And I'll give advice. But like men, real men, we would just know on a moment's notice we'd live and die for one another. We don't have to be talking about it. Like,
Well,
I think that's the difference.
I think,
like, have you ever talked to anybody that's in a military unit, like in a special forces unit? They're closer with their battalions and their unit than any wife or children. They're closer with their unit. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up a military example. Sure. Okay. Go ahead. No, you could go ahead.
No, I mean, there's that saying that the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. So it doesn't really matter about it's the experiences that you go through and the commitments you make to people, not just familial links, are what makes someone close. And I think going to war and killing and to face death when you put a man's hands in your life in your hands and you put your hands in his, that's a different experience.
Totally.
And that's an experience I don't think women will ever understand.
Putting your life on the line for a person that you don't know beyond being in this relationship with, like being in this, that context of being at war or whatever. Is that not extreme vulnerability? Putting your life on the line I cannot imagine anything more vulnerable than the physical vulnerability and the mental, emotional vulnerability of knowing that you're going to put your life on the line. And there's a public speaker. Her name's Brene Brown. She's written like many books about vulnerability and its role in leadership. And it actually might be an interesting person. I think she's done like TED Talks and stuff like that. So you don't have to like read an entire book to get her spiel. But she talks a lot about this, and you might find it interesting because one of the anecdotes that she has in one of her books is she was at this point in her career, she was doing a lot of like leadership conferences, talking to corporate America, blah, blah, blah. She got invited to an event where she was going to speak to a whole bunch of veterans, and they were older men. And she's on the side of the stage and she's like, what the hell am I going to say to these men? They don't want to hear about vulnerability in workplaces. Like, I'm not qualified for this. Like, that's crazy. And what she ended up doing is she went out onto the stage and she asked the crowd, can you think of a single moment of courage that did not require extreme vulnerability? And not a single hand went up in that room. And so I think there is a misconception on the role of vulnerability in in what courage is, in what masculinity is. And at the end of the day, I don't really, if the friendships that you have work for you, then I'm so happy for you. Like I don't have any interest in changing what works for people. But if you're presenting me with a question and with a problem, I can tell you what does work for people. And vulnerability creates connection. Like, and we see that replicated over and over again.
You taught, this is, again, that's for in a woman's point of view, of course, but in a man's point of view, it doesn't.
No,
because you've
it's
been
across the board. I just explained.
May I speak?
I just explained.
Okay.
Well, hold on a second. I just want to make sure that
you're the
you
therapist,
heard.
but you talk over your clients. Is that what a therapist
I'm
does?
not
They
getting-
talk over the clients, or
I'm not. First of all, I'm not a therapist,
So
and
I
also,
just-
you're not paying me. You're not paying me.
saying,
You're not my
I thought we were
client.
having a form. No, but I'm just saying I thought we were having a polite discussion, and you rambled on for a long time about things that had no
brother.
tangential connection to anything I said, and then you just move on. How is the things that you are explicating that have been explicated for the the things that you're explicating
you just
have been
didn't
babbled
listen
to
to me.
men for the last 40 years.
She was
I
responding
responded
directly to what
directly
you
to
said.
what you said.
Look at this is why
I muted you because this is a show that I'm a host on, and so I can do whatever I want because you're not a client and you don't pay me for this time. So I can do whatever I want. Okay? So I'm going to get that out of the way. And also, you obviously didn't listen to anything I said because what I said was actually in direct response to what you said, which was that vulnerability is not important. But I'm telling you, it is important because that's my job, and I have read plenty of research to align with the fact that it is important. And also, one of the things that takes extreme vulnerability is going to war and protecting other people, specifically ones that you barely know. So, what are you talking about that it's not related? What? I'm going to unmute you now. Oh my God, did you talk that whole time?
You just witnessed. No, I didn't say anything. I was waiting for you. I mean, can I respond now or no?
Yes.
First of all, war and going to war, and have you ever been in a situation where you've had to kill or be killed, ma'am?
No.
You don't. It's not a presuppositional mind process. You know who Chesty Puller is, ma'am? The most decorated United States Marine of all time. You know what he talked about when he had to jump into multiple pillboxes and flamethrower Japanese men alive? You know what he talked about? I didn't feel anything. I just did it. I just told you I didn't feel anything. I just did it. And you see, that's the difference. You're talking about feelings, and in war, you let go. You say a prayer to the Lord, and you're ready to die. It's not this hand holding, like, oh, we're going to be vulnerable together, guys. This is my whole point. You look at it in the paradigm of vaginosis. You look at it through the world of a woman.
What are you talking about?
Yes.
Hello?
That is the way that you
word?
look. You have a view of the world that is completely engulfed through the lens of a vagina. You do not even know. You've never been in a situation where you've had to kill somebody, and you're going to tell men that go and kill everybody every day.
What about women who go to war?
Are you telling me that? Okay, I'll ask you a simple question. Are women in the front lines tearing men's eyes out? Are they in the front lines in combat situations tearing men's eyes out, using their knife to embowel people? No.
Sometimes they're in combat. Why are you acting like they're never in combat?
No, they're not in frontline combat, ma'am. They're not in frontline combat that. No, they're not, ma'am. They're
never in dangerous situations.
Women
where
are lateral support.
Never. That never
Women
happens.
are lateral support.
Women are lateral support. We said. He said women are lateral support. They're never in combat. This guy. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay.
Hey,
sorry. I'm unmuting you now. Sorry. I want to just to like get a baseline.
And this
also.
is what I was trying to say. Somebody like a woman. A woman would take great offense. You would take great offense to a man telling you what it was like to have a pregnancy, but you're going to tell men what it's like to kill other men.
No, I'm not. I'm not telling men what it's like to kill other men.
This is my whole
What are you
point about
talking
women.
about?
You babble about
Oh,
shit you
for the
don't know
love of
about under the
God.
protection of the men you hate.
I like
You-
how she
you-
was like
you
giving a
everything-
compliment and you are mad about it. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre that like you get angry at the thought of being vulnerable when it's a compliment. Like what everything she was saying was very kind towards men in general. Like I don't
Graces of
understand
men.
what makes you so
You
upset
live-
about it. It's so weird.
Ma'am, everything that you think, do, and have is under the good graces of men.
Oh my God. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. This guy sucks. This guy sucks. And also, I'm gonna unmute him for 1 second because I want to make sure that he's not talking over me.
You want me
Sir,
to prove
are
it
you
to you, or
listening?
you just want to babble?
Sir, are you listening? Sir, are
you
you
want to prove?
listening?
Well, I can prove it to you.
Sir, are you
Yeah, I can
listening
prove
to
it
what
to you.
I'm saying? Sir, I'm not asking you to prove
Ma'am,
shit
are
to
you
me.
listening? Women never.
Okay, I'm muting him. He's saying that I can never listen, but he has literally not shut up this entire call. Okay,
Yep.
here's my thing. You're telling me that when we're having conversations about men being lonely, many times that is in conjunction with being able to have dates, be in relationship with women. Us as women are going to tell you, hey, here's the cheat code. Here's the thing that's going to work for me.
Right.
But then this random guy who literally can't spell and also has zero capability of listening and also won't even tell us his name. Very brave of you.
Yeah, very manly.
Very manly, very brave. You're telling me that I'm giving you as a woman the cheat code, but I'm wrong? But then it's also
Right.
a situation where I can't have a man tell me what it's like to be pregnant. Is that not the same fucking thing? I'm giving you the answer to the question that you want from the source, which is a woman, and that's not, we don't like it. And then all of the years of my professional career that I've spent studying relationships mean nothing to this random person who's then gonna call me and tell me I'm yapping?
Yeah. It's just like, and it kind of, I feel like there are certain men who are angry at what, society is like now, where women have more opportunities and like the strongest people aren't always the ones with power, if that makes sense. Like a lot of, I feel like they are so used to men, as long as they're physical and strong, that means they get to be in charge of everything. But now in society, we're living in a time where intelligence and stuff like that, skill and different skills are really important and like prized. So I think that like really pisses them off sometimes. So I think, yeah, I think men are angry when the patriarchy starts to no longer, and it's still very much a thing, but when it slowly starts to dissipate, I think it pisses them off.
Yeah, 100%. He's actually still on the line. He's muted, but I'm going to unmute him and see if, I don't know, if he was listening at all. Let's see.
Where to begin? First of all, you're seeing in the world right now that violence is the ultimate determinant of authority. Without violence, there is no authority. Violence is the authority to which all authority derives.
Sir.
Are you married? Reality. Do you have a girlfriend, or is this just like...
Ma'am, I have been engaged many a time. No, please, now, again, the female shaming tactic. You want to get personal? I can get personal and ask how many dicks have you been
engaged
in
many
now,
a time.
You want to be polite? Do you want to be polite or no? Do you want to be polite or no? You want to be polite?
You've been rude this entire call.
Then be
polite.
Yeah, you've been rude this entire call.
Ma'am, I was being very polite and acknowledging and responding to a point. And then you said, have you ever been married in a passive-aggressive way, like bitches don't suck my dick? Now stop.
Okay, I just dropped him, and I think we get to ban him because that was crazy. Also, engaged many times, but cannot close the deal. I wonder why.
I know. I only asked. I only asked him that question because I wanted to ask, like, you didn't have to be vulnerable with that person, like, at all, like, as in your like your spouse or whatever. But I guess he believed I was going the incel route and got really pissed off. So
Yeah,
that really
wow,
triggered
that
the
was
shit out of him.
that was crazy. What an insane human being. I've never seen a man so emotional in my life. You tell a man to be
I know,
vulnerable
he's angry,
once.
and yeah. Yeah, they say women are like so emotional, but it's only because they don't see anger as an emotion, because he was extremely
Right.
emotional.
He
Holy.
was so crazy. That was crazy.
And-
You can't
And also,
ma'am,
sorry, go
ma'am,
ahead.
ma'am.
And also saying women in the military never get put in dangerous situations is crazy. That's crazy work.
Dude.
Like,
It's, it's like people that someone Rainbow Ash in the chat is like, can we call back Toby? Because that was yeah, that was crazy. And it's also like sometimes you meet a person and you're like, actually, you are not redeemable. You are down a spiral that is so, this is not, there's no conversation that we could have had today that would have made a difference for him, unfortunately.
No, he was not interested in having conversation.
No, he was interested in saying ma'am, 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 ma'am until he was allowed to swap the word out with bitch instead.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Did he say that he is a veteran?
I don't think he said, but he made it sound that way.
Because but here's the thing. I think that if he was, for a person who was talking about the military so much, you would think that he would mention it, like he would speak from his own experience, which leads me to believe that he's not a veteran, which means he's just obsessed with with other people who have served, but like was too scared to do it himself.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if he was in the military, he would have said that, and I think that he probably wasn't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's great. Yeah, like some people are saying what Brent in the chat is saying, it was heavily implied, but I feel like for a person like that, he would have said it. Like we wouldn't have even need to imply.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. I did not realize that asking him that question was gonna like trigger him so bad, so I think that just sent him over the edge. Whoopsie.
That was insane. Wow. That was okay. Someone needs to go back to Crazy Town. Oh my gosh. Okay. We have more theists, and so let's pull in another one, hopefully nicer. We're pulling in Daniel. Hello, Daniel.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great myself. Hopefully I'm a nicer person than last.
I feel like I already get better vibes from you than whatever the heck that was that we dealt with. But what did you want to talk with us about today?
Well, just first off, just kind of got upset on the chat when your mods silenced me or whatever, because I think it was during Toby's little talk there that I said, hey, having a personal creator could give you peace. I mean, I didn't even bring any dogma or anything like that into it, any religious sect or anything like that, and I just get, silenced right away. So I thought that was kind of a L on your guys' part, or on the mod's part anyway.
Okay, hang on here. Daniel, next time don't be a douchebag in chat and listen when mods tell you what to do.
So, yeah, the whole thing is basically, I believe in a creator, and I was just basically asking why you guys don't believe in it.
I'm having a hard time hearing him for some reason, so I'm gonna let you.
Oh, okay. I'll repeat what his main question was, because I actually think you would be the perfect person to answer this, which is, he believes in a creator, and why don't you?
I would just say that I just don't find reason to. It's the same reason I don't believe in any other god claim, like even, Greek gods and goddesses, no matter how cool they are. I just don't have a reason to believe that they're real. I I think anything else, like, since there's not proof, I would just be assuming they're real for no good reason, honestly, so I just don't see a point.
Yeah, I agree. Daniel, are you there still? Did he drop? Oh, he dropped. His like sound was like a little funky, so I guess
Yeah,
I
I
don't
could
know.
barely
Oh,
hear
dang.
him.
Well, all right. Well, that was a good answer. And I don't believe it because I think that, like, the older I get, the further I get, the more that I stray from the light, the more I'm like, it's kind of insane that someone wrote a book and then they were like, and this is how we're going to base all of our decisions, and this is true, and everyone else has to now comply. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah, no, it
just it's kind of insane when you think about it, that like someone wrote a book and then it like it's like it was like a prank that went too far. Like it just oh my god, like how did we get here?
Yeah. One thing I say I always wonder about, if I could like go back in time and talk to the like historical Jesus and like be like, yo, they still like they're still going hard for you, because I don't think he expected. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know what he thought, but like I feel like he was just like kind, like how people describe him as like a charismatic cult leader, and I don't know if he knew it was going like people were going to go this hard for thousands of years, and it's just kind of hard to wrap my mind around. But yeah.
Yeah. Wait, I love the idea of you talking to like historical Jesus and being like, they still are riding really hard for you, and him being like, really? Oh my god.
And they're waiting for you to come back, dude. They're still waiting for you to come back.
And he's like, what? Like, me? Shut
I know,
up.
he would be so, he really would. He would have a bigger head than he already did, so.
Literally, he'd be like, oh my god.
Oh my gosh, me?
What? I love that idea. I think that's hilarious. Okay, we have 2 more calls. I think we can get through them pretty quickly. And then we'll wrap up for the day. We have a theist, and then we have Sarah, who's been very patiently been waiting on our lines for a while. So thank you, Sarah, for being so kind. And we are going to prioritize our final theist for the night. We have Tamerlane, I'm sorry, which is a beautiful name. Tamerlane, are you there?
Hi. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. I love your name.
Thank you. It's my actual name. Yeah. Some people have like asked me, and they're like, "Oh, thank you, I appreciate it." Cool. Sweet.
Yeah. What did you want to talk about today?
Yeah. So, I've been watching a lot of the VODs recently with you and Alyssa, and so as a result, I've kind of been like, oh, I really want to get into having this really kind of silly conversation with you, maybe specifically regarding mansplaining. So I'm in a relationship with an incredibly intelligent woman, and I love her quite a bit, and I recognize her as an equal, and often, try to elevate her to the best of my ability. And occasionally we'll engage in a dialogue, and in some cases the conversation relates to something that relates to my field of like design, where I'll try to maybe potentially add in some context related to my field of expertise. But then I found in this situation that I've been, when I say accused, but I don't really mean accused, it's more like kind of like, at it, of implying that I'm mansplaining the situation. Now, I know she's not trying to be malicious, and I don't think that I'm mansplaining, but maybe I am, and so I guess what I'm trying to get a better understanding of is, what is mansplaining, and what are things that I can do to tackle it to make sure that I'm not potentially belittling not just my partner, but also any women that I may engage with in my life.
That is such an interesting question. So you cut out for a second, and I didn't hear the part about like what your area of expertise is and how it comes up in that way. Do you mind repeating that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, totally. I'm a game designer, and she likes to be, back option something.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, first of all, really cool job. I think really the person that you should ask is your girlfriend, or your partner. I don't remember if you said girlfriend, but you should ask her what feels like mansplaining to her, like what part of it feels like you're overstepping. Well, actually, I'll explain what mansplaining is first. So mansplaining, oh, sorry, the dogs are barking. Mansplaining is when a guy explains something to a woman or really anyone that doesn't need to be explained, or they're like over explaining something and it's done in like a way that's condescending and it's kind of like, I already knew that, you don't need to explain it to me. Or it's I think it especially comes up if they're explaining something that person does know a lot about also. So it's sort of like a belittling, condescending type of thing. But yeah, I think that it sounds like if it's just within you and your partner, I think it might be a good idea to ask them what their experience is of you explaining things to them, and have just like an open conversation with her and just say like, I don't want to be mansplaining to you, but this is an area of expertise. Like, I like to talk about it. So I just want to know how I can change my language or my approach or whatever so that it doesn't feel like icky to you. Or maybe there are topics that she just doesn't really want to hear that much about from you. But if this is your area of expertise and she enjoys video games, like, I don't know, I think there's just a discussion that you can have to clarify what that is in that conversation. And what was the other thing I was going to say about that? Oh, sometimes it can be helpful to also ask someone if they want feedback on something. Like, you can also ask someone, hey, like, instead of and this is like better for like in the wild, but if you feel like someone is talking about something and you're like, I don't really want to overstep and explain something that they might already know about, you can say like, oh, I actually know a lot about blah, blah, blah. Can I tell you about it? Like, is that okay? Or am I like, whatever. And that it sounds maybe weird and therapist-y when we're doing it like this, but it's a good habit to get in. And I think it might help alleviate some of the stress that you might be feeling. And also in general, not everybody wants to have feedback or things explained to them all the time. And so it's perfectly okay to say like, can I give you feedback on that? Are you open to feedback or whatever? Like, I know a lot about this, actually. Can I tell you about it? Skeptic, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I think it would be like what you said about asking or figuring out if they're interested, I guess, in the topic in general, because I guess I don't think it's mansplaining to talk about like your area of expertise, especially,
Yeah,
but maybe she isn't interested in like the deep detail of it, because I know with being with someone who's an engineer, they can start talking about things that are way over my head that it's kind of like my mind goes blank when they start talking about it too in depth. So I don't know if it's that kind of situation, but yeah, I think maybe it is also her not being as interested in the like deep details of it, but I don't know your conversation. So
yeah. Cool. No, that makes a lot of sense. I was going to ask, like, on that note, but I think you guys kind of captured it of, like, should I navigate this by kind of inquiring if the person in question, because I mentioned, it being my partner, but also, like, my concern was also, like, what if I've been doing this by accident with peers or friends or other things and stuff like that, right? And so I guess, like, you kind of, I think essentially you said asking for feedback, in the wild kind of thing. I guess that would be like the way I would tackle it, is like inquiring if the individual has an understanding of a particular topic before I dive into it, but also asking maybe if they're interested in my opinion on a topic before I kind of just like run in and say, let me give my opinion, right? Is that fair? Did I capture that?
Yeah, totally. And you could do it in ways that feel like conversational or funny or whatever. Like you can say like, oh, I know I'm a game designer and I know so much about this. I won't bore you with the details unless you want to hear them. And then you can, see how they feel. And you can be sort of playful with it and just, because then you give them the opportunity to respond and say, oh, I'd love to know about that. And be like, oh no, I also know a lot about it, whatever. I don't know. I think if you're in conversation with people and you're wanting it to be something where like both people are contributing to the conversation, you'll be okay. And also just talk to your partner. Ask what feels mansplainy to them, and just be open about it. Because if your intention is to like not have that be the conversation you're creating over and over, then you're leading with good intention, and the conversation will probably go well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, like contextually, it's just like I think the issue and the reason that it's been such a weird thing for me to tackle has been like that like on full disclosure, like I'm on the spectrum, and so a lot of my social behaviors are very learned, and so it's very like I ask the question of like what should I do, and so when you mention like these kind of pathways of like how I handle it in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna kind of formulaically do it until it kind of like actually kind of attaches into like being something that's more like subconscious. So yeah, it's something that I've just recognized that like maybe I feel in the back of my mind. I'm like, was I too much there or something like that? And then I feel uncomfortable with myself. And but yeah, no, this is awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's helped a lot.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Thanks for calling.
Of course. You guys take care. Okay. Have a good one.
You too. Bye. Okay, that was so nice. In the chat too, everyone was really stressing me out because they were like, "Are you woman-splaining, mansplaining to someone?" I'm like, please. I'm like, I don't know. Am I? Oh God.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Stress. Okay, our last call of the night is from our friend in the chat, Sarah. Hello, Sarah.
Hi.
How's it going?
Going well. I'm sorry for that, who I think is Imperious, who you've talked to before, Alyssa, just not letting you get a word in.
That was crazy. I'm going to watch that later and be like, because I feel like I talked a lot, but I feel like I was really nice in my first response to him. And then he was immediately crazy.
Yeah, you were really nice.
Thank you. I was trying. Jeez Louise. And he was immediately like a jerk.
Yep.
That's crazy. Anywho, Sarah,
anyway,
what do you got for us today?
I'm not here to talk about callers. That's not. I just wanted to say that I'm sympathetic for you for having to deal with that. But
thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Of course. But I wanted to talk about, and I do have permission from him to talk about this, and he's listening right now. But I got into a new relationship. We're almost 2 weeks in at this point.
Ooh, exciting!
And basically, my question is, how do I get over my anxiety about lack of experience with sexual relationships and feeling like I'm not good enough with like pleasuring my partner, if that makes sense?
Well, the good news is that, well, first of all, yay, really excited for you. And because he's listening right now, you better be nice to our girl. That's our friend. So, but the good news is everybody is so different. So even if you had a bunch of partners prior to being in this relationship, you would still have to learn what this partner likes. and it could be completely different from every other you've had. So the experience doesn't really matter that much. And the best thing that you can do is just get as comfortable as you can communicating what works well for you. So our orgasms are our own responsibility. So the best thing that you can do is know what works well for you, and do exploring via self-touch or watching like any sort of erotica, reading erotica, listening to erotica, whatever. If that gives you inspiration, you can do that too. If not, you don't have to. But doing anything to like get answers for yourself is helpful so that you can give him some direction, which you can do by saying things like, I love when you do this. It feels so good when you do this. Like that sort of like positive phrasing that we talked about like way earlier today in this show. And encourage him to do the same. And so having this person say to you what feels good and what doesn't feel good is going to just be your like guidepost for all of it. And approach all of it with curiosity and not judgment. Like curiosity about what might feel good for you that day versus another day. And, you know, I think part of the like curiosity and not judgment part too is there may be things that you're into that feel really good to you that you were not expecting. And it's like, okay, and whatever, if this feels good, that's what we're here for. I'm game. Let's get on board. Like maybe your earlobe is like, I don't know, super sensitive and you feel your earlobe in your coochie, like whatever. Like it's possible, it happens. And so like just letting the curiosity lead you wherever, because sex is meant to be fun. It's meant to be about connection, and it's about shared intimacy, which is really what it is. And just take it slow. Like sometimes I think like the best moments of intimacy are being cuddled up on the couch, like laying next to each other in bed and like breathing this close to each other's face and being like, your breath really smells. And like that sort of intimacy is important too. So like find fun ways to build intimacy that are not stressful to you. And lean into the curiosity part of it. And Skeptic is married, so I wonder if she has thoughts.
I don't know if I do or not. I like it's not. I guess it's nothing I've like thought about in the way of like explaining it. So that might be like, yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of anything on this one.
Yeah, and that's okay. Yeah, I think communication is the way to go. Do self-exploration so that you know like what works for you, and yeah, just be curious. Don't judge yourself. Like you'll find pacing that works for you. You'll find your way through all of it. Allow each experience to just be what it is. Like there may be times where it's an intimate experience. It is like sexual in nature, and no one comes, and that's okay. And like it's like it was just for the fun. It was just exploring. It was just being curious, and that's okay. That's okay too. Like as long as everything is safe, it's consensual, everyone's having a nice time. Just explore and see what comes up for you, and just be in good communication with each other, and you'll be so great. And I'm so excited for you.
Thanks. Yeah, he just commented in the chat like a while ago. It's Bryce. So if you see Bryce, that's him.
Oh my god. I'm going to scroll up. I'm so excited. I love it. I love when we have people in the chat who find each other. She is amazing.
Yeah, he got me into the line, so a relationship formed from the line. So
oh, I love it. And you know what? That's not the first one. Like we've had other relationships that have kind of been the result of our chats. So I love it. We are accidentally, wait, when are we going to have our, not you guys, no pressure. Cause like it's 2 weeks in, but when are we going to have our first, the line wedding?
I mean, when we get to that point, you are definitely invited, Alyssa, because you're the best Bandicoot, and you've been a really awesome, like, sister type person to me. So you're definitely invited.
Sarah, you better be serious because I will come. I was literally just saying.
I'm serious.
I'm there. I was saying to my boyfriend yesterday. I did a show in 2021. On Netflix called The Circle. And there was someone who watched the show who invited me and my boyfriend at the time to the wedding. And I DM'd her back and I was like, if you're serious, I will be there. And she was like, I'm serious. And you please actually come. And I did. I went. I flew to Alabama. And I brought my ass there and we had the best time and we're still friends and it was a really good experience. So whoever has the first, no pressure, but whoever has the first line, the line marriage, if you invite me to the wedding, dead ass, I will be there if I can.
Sounds good. And thank you for taking my call, and I'm excited that I was the last call you took today. And it's
a nice palate cleanser. Thank you so much for calling, Sarah. I'm so excited for you, and we will talk to you so soon. Keep us updated on everything.
Oh, I will.
Okay, we talk to you soon. Bye, Sarah.
Bye.
Bye, Sarah.
Okay. Wow, I love it. Okay, should we do some super chats?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Super chats. Super chats. Let's see. What do we got? Hello? Maybe Morgan fell asleep. Morgan, are you napping on the job? No, there he is. Okay. Now, okay. Also, now that I said that, if there's going to be a chat that's in a... I don't even want to say it because now it's going to happen no matter what. Someone's going to send a chat and it's going to be in a crazy accent and Morgan's going to send it to me because I said he was taking a nap and now this is... And I created that reality for myself.
That is not true. I'd do it anyway.
You're right. You're right. 5 pounds from Mystic Minds Analysis Tavern. Current Pride Month reads Magica Riot by Cara Buchanan. A trans-positive, sapphic, magical girl novel perfect for weebs like me. Ooh, that sounds lovely. I love it. I love that you gave us a book rec. So fun. Thanks.
$10 from Allison Claire. As a bisexual woman, how can I break out of man dating? I love men, but my schedule is too full of men. How to say no to someone I'd say yes to if I didn't already have a lot of great male attention?
I think you can just, I don't think you really need that much of a reason. I think you could just be like, I appreciate that so much. My schedule is like a little crazy right now. Maybe sometime like later in the summer, later this year, whatever it is. And also if you're on a dating app, set your dating apps to be just women. You can even tell those people that are asking you out, just be like, I actually am like only really dating women right now at the moment, but like, thanks so much. Thanks. But no. I don't know. I think you can just, like you would get out of any date. Like, just, no.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Thanks, Allison. $10 from Razor Sharp. The cure to male loneliness is for men to have boyfriends the same way women have girlfriends. Hashtag date your friends, but not like that. Yeah, I know. Go have coffee with your boyfriends. Like my mom had coffee with her girlfriends today.
Yeah, I
Make
agree.
some damn friends.
100%.
Yeah. Have some friends.
$5 from One Eyed Heathen. I might not be back to hear the rest of the show, so here's my money in case I can't return. Keep up the good work. Oh.
Thanks. That's really nice. $5 from Mike Streer. How many times can I get you to say the word accountability buddy? I love accountability buddy. I'm going to be using that in my coaching now too. That's awesome. That's a great word.
$5 from President Starscream. I actually learned from other men. while in the military.
Oh.
Let me mute myself. I'm gonna have you read it until.
Okay. $5 from President Starscream. I actually learned from other men while in the military, not in combat situations, to be more emotionally open and vulnerable. So BM is full of BM. Yeah. That he sucked. And I think he was just perceiving vulnerability to be just like he said it, like holding hands and like crying or something. And I was like, that's just not what anyone said.
I think he genuinely didn't even know what he was talking about. I think he was just pissed off.
No, he really was. Like he was pissed off and wanted to yell at anyone.
Yeah, he was ready to fight 100%.
And you know what? He picked the wrong fucking show, because guess who's also all ready to fight at any moment's notice?
Same.
So, sorry.
$5 from Melatonin Ale. Sounds like the only one babbling about shit they don't understand is this caller. True.
Yeah. He was being so insane and just kept talking over everyone. And he was like, I thought we were having a respectful discussion, ma'am. Shut up.
And I'm also like, you came in guns a-blazing. Like, you were not starting off nice. So what are you talking about?
Right.
He's aggressive as hell.
My ass. Right. My ass. You thought this would be a respectful conversation. Please. $9.99 from Pure Taco. As a combat veteran, I've seen some of the most badass women on the front lines. That guy is a joke and probably was the type that didn't join and made the excuse, I'd punch a drill sergeant in the face. Right. No, I also was like, well, Skeptic, you said it. You were like, you think that women are not in combat? That's just made up.
But that also makes me think that he wasn't ever actually in the military, because why would he like say that with such confidence? That's very strange to me.
Yeah. And I also feel like I don't know anybody who, and I know I don't know. I know a handful of veterans that are like also quite young, and none of them would talk that way about women who are serving. None of them.
Right. Yeah, I agree. $5 from June Brambley. Ma'am, how dare you talk while hosting a call-in show? True. How dare you?
I know. And I try really hard. How could you do this? I try hard to not interrupt people, but sometimes I think it's like beneficial to like pause them in whatever thought they're having, so we could like, before we get to anything else, hold on a second.
Yeah.
But boy, did he not like that.
No, he didn't.
$5 for Moira Bannister. Oh my god, Moira! Miss Girl, we haven't seen you in so long. BM is trying to say he's never pleased a woman without saying he's never pleased a woman. Right. His fiance that has his fiance is plural. Yeah, that definitely exists. They just go to a different school.
Yeah, true.
Please.
$10 from Heathen. Benevolent misogyny is clearly insecure in his masculinity and projecting his problems onto the host, from talking over the others to what he thinks women are saying. Y'all are doing amazing. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, he was doing a lot of projecting. A lot of emotional projecting.
Didn't seem very stable. Hopefully he gets better. Yeah. Get well soon.
Yeah, get well soon. Exactly. $5 for Moira Bannister. Don't play a drinking game about how often BM can straw man feminism. You'll pass away of alcohol poisoning first. Fucking facts.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I agree. $5 from Donkey Butt. I've been digging the song Is This Love by Bob Marley all day today. Check it out if you haven't heard it before. I feel like that's one of those songs where I would go listen to it and know what it was, but I can't think about it in my head right now.
You would listen to the chorus like once and be like, oh, I've heard this before. It's a classic.
Yeah.
That's a great one. $6.99 Canadian dollars from Maureen O'Hara. We are all guilty of mansplaining. Just look at the dazed, bored look in the eyes of the one you're talking to. Yeah. Yeah. If they seem glazed over, you might be mansplaining.
$5 or $20 from Mr. How do you say that?
Boricua.
The misogynist caller was without doubt one of the worst people to ever grace this plane of existence with his bile. Never have I recoiled in disgust so much. I hope for the day such rubbish is no more. Same.
Yeah, agreed. I agree. And literally, as you were reading that, I like had a moment of thinking about like how he ended that call, and I like instinctively was like, "Oh, that was no."
Yeah, I was like, "Whoa, okay, bomb went off."
Oh my god! It was like S my D and then the B word. That was crazy.
Yeah, I was just shocked that one question made him so angry, but
that was, oh god, I'm gonna rewatch that because I like actually I feel like in that moment it didn't sink in what just happened. I was like, oh okay, we're dropping that. That was crazy.
I know it took me a second to register as well.
That was crazy. $5 from DaCosta. Works nicer today because we got inspected and passed with flying colors. Holding gel is working. If everyone could flip their hair for me, thank you. Holding gel is working. Am I supposed to flip my hair? I don't know. I'll flip my hair. I'm so glad that your day was nice and that your inspection went well. That's so great. I don't know what you got inspected, but I'm so happy for you.
$5 from Monkey, a typewriter. So about the first Chatling wedding, she said yes, no joke. We're looking at venues and planning out how to tell our families your fault.
Monkey what? Will what? I feel like I could run a lap around my house. Are you fucking kidding me? Congratulations, this is so crazy.
Wow. That's awesome.
Wait. I need to take a picture of this to send to Promise. Because that's crazy. Oh my god, this is so exciting.
You're really bringing people together.
Truly. Please call in next week if you're allowed. Like, if it's cool with you and your fiance. Please call in and give us... Oh my, I can't believe this is real. I'm like freaking out. Okay. Please call in and give us the whole story of how it happened. And also, you said you would keep us updated. And you didn't keep us updated until now that you're engaged. Not that you should have told us ahead of time, because I know she also watches the show. Like, I get that. And, like, you don't need to tell us everything. But, oh, my God. This is so exciting.
That's really sweet.
I'm, like, freaking out. I'm going to send us a Promise right now. Monkey, I'm so happy for you. Oh, my God. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So exciting.
$10 from Paver 4. I started the line for Matt. Now seeing how wild chewed gum is, I'll be watching your live a way more awesome show. I mean, that guy did spice things up.
He certainly did. And last week too, we had 2 insane callers. One was a guy named Gohan, and I literally flipped him off and told him to sit and spin because he was making me so mad. And then honestly,
I need to go back and watch this.
It was not my like most emotionally in control moments I've ever had. Like, when I think back, this show has unlocked something in me where, like, I am so ready to lose my fucking shit at anyone.
Honestly, I might be a bad influence, but I support that. I'm always going to support that, so.
Yeah, and it's also like, people call us and say the craziest stuff. It's like, they would never be that brave to my face, I don't think. And so, every now and again, it's nice to, like, sometimes when we see everything that's happening in the world, it's like faceless. I have no one to yell at. And in this circumstance, it's a unique situation in which I do have someone to yell at.
Yeah, I feel that.
It's awesome. But thank you so much. I'm so glad that you are going to be tuning in now. That's great. $5 from Bobby Keniston. I hope I'm saying your last name right. I think I am. I don't have anything clever or interesting to say. I mean, I wrote a benevolent misogynist mini monologue, but it was too on the nose. So yeah, thank you, Bobby. We appreciate you so much. And anything you say is interesting and clever, in my humble opinion. Thank you so much.
$5 from the Fuzzy Logic. Could you imagine the Patreon bonus show for The Line Has a Wedding?
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. I already am thinking about how Jimmy and we got to send you an edible arrangement. We got to figure it out. You're getting married. I can't believe it. Where's the registry? Oh my God. It's insane. I would love that. The bonus show on Patreon, The Line Has a Wedding, is hilarious. £5 from Jessica. Doo-doo McButtface. Insane. Still insane. Just sending my love and my obligatory factual Espeon sucks super chat. Hashtag love you soon. Hashtag Growliths the bestest. Hashtag Forest for President. I still don't know anything about Espeon. This is a Pokemon battle that Jessica has with with Arden, who loves Espeon, and now this has been a weeks-long debate that they've been having.
I love Espeon too, so I don't like the Espeon slander going on right now.
We have another one for Espeon, y'all. Oh man.
Yup. Espeon and Umbreon, those are my girls. Can't talk smack about them.
I don't know anything about this, but I don't know what you just got yourself into.
It's serious business.
It really is.
$10 from, oh my God, Nitosaurus Rex. Oh, okay. Boobs.
Oh yeah, Nitosaurus Rex. Nice. Exactly. And I've always said that. $5 from Sarah Talks Podcast for Alyssa. Do you have a way I can contact you? I have more thoughts, but I couldn't say them with a parent in the room. LOL. I absolutely do have a way you can contact me. You can email me. That is probably easiest. My email is Alyssa Ljub, just like my socials and everything else is spelled, @gmail.com. Sometimes I can get to DMs, but honestly, I lose track of them sometimes. So email is probably easiest. If that's cool with you, you can hit me there. Oh, and that's it. And we're done. Okay. Well, Thank you so much for coming on and joining us today. Anytime. So glad we got to yell at someone.
You're probably talking to everybody, not just me. My bad.
No, I was talking to you.
Okay. I'm so embarrassing. It's fine.
No, you're like the sweetest and so kind, and I'm like a fucking bulldozer in comparison. So I'm so glad you're here. You give us some balance. Thank you, everyone. Oh my God, literally come back to Chewed Gum anytime. We love having you here. Everyone have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you to all of our moderators and Amargan for producing today, all of our screeners, all of the lovely people who called. And now we get to ride off into the sunset. I'm going to have myself a nice little tea and some tater tots. Maybe watch something. Yeah. What are you going to do with the rest of your night?
Love Island. I got some Love Island to catch up on.
Yes, girl.
You watch it?
Too. I am starting this season for the first time. And what a journey.